I'm angry, and I know you're angry, Nick, as well. And I think we're going to talk about that as well. And this is all being precipitated by the stabbing of three young girls, killing of three young girls in Southport.
Yeah.
But I thought, if you don't mind, and I'm gonna take a bit of time here, so I'll be doing a bit of talking. I just wanted to go through July, if that's okay. I'll try and go through it quickly, but I think if you hear this, it kind of gives you a view of what's happened in the last month, and kind of what led to, I think, a kind of almost an escalation as we headed towards what happened in Southport on the 29th of July. So July 4th was the election.
Yeah.
Several Muslim MPs were elected to the House of Commons after a campaign of abuse, harassment and intimidation, displaying zero respect for our political institutions and way of life. July the 11th, new Labour government announced it would release 5,000 prisoners early in September. July 15th, we learned that the Metropolitan Police in London hadn't solved a single petty crime in 3 years across 166 areas of London. July 17th, a Jordanian refugee, Mustafa al-Mabdan, who had assaulted a female police officer in Bournemouth, was spared community service on the grounds he couldn't speak English. I don't know if you heard that one.
Yeah, I did.
July 18th, two asylum seekers who stole a Rolex worth $25,000 were spared jail. July 18th, the same day, mass rioting in Hare Hills community in Leeds after social services took 4 Romani children to social care. So I'm sure the viewers will be aware of these things, but I'm just saying this has all happened
in July,
in a very short space of time. July 18th, same day, rioting broke out in East London Bangladeshi community following political unrest in Bangladesh. Rocks thrown at police officers and cars smashed in mainly Muslim communities. July 23rd, a positive I suppose, Anjem Chowdhury, Britain's most famous Islamist, was sentenced for directing Islamist terror on Britain's streets. July 23rd, a British army officer was stabbed, I think you said hacked, repeatedly outside his home by Anthony Essen, a member of a minority community. I don't know his background, Anthony Essen.
Nigerian immigrant.
July 26th, protests broke out after footage emerged of Greater Manchester Police taking action against Fahir and Ahmad Amas, two Muslim brothers who were later revealed to have severely assaulted the officers before they were assaulted themselves. July 27th, 6 arrests made after a drive-by shooting in the town of Watford. July 29th, reports of a man being stabbed to death, 2 others injured following a knife fight in a park in East London. July 29th in Southport, I can't remember the name of the guy, the Rwandan second generation, broke into a dance class for little girls and stabbed 9 girls, murdered 3 of them, and the one of the adult carers. July 30th, the day after, a mass brawl involving machetes erupted onto the streets of Southend. July 30th, a homeless Kurdish migrant pushed a man onto the tracks of the London Underground station after feeling disrespected. And on July 30th, it was reported that another 3,000 migrants have entered Britain illegally on small boats since Labour took power at the beginning of July. So that's quite a catalogue, don't you think?
And I think most months you could read off 3/4 of that list on most months, and you could have done for several years now. Horrendous. Crime and disorder in this country is out of control. There is no deterrence. The police force in this country are failing, have been for years. Political interference in the police force is killing them. Mass migration is adding so many more criminals to the criminals we've already got in this country. White people do many of those things as well, white British people. So this isn't just immigrants committing crime, but immigrants are more likely to commit crime. And what annoys most people is most of these immigrants shouldn't be in the country in the first place. We have to put up with third, fourth generation immigrants committing crime, or people born in this country for a century or 1,000 years committing crime because they were born here and they're here. But surely we can differentiate between that and someone like the Kurdish guy who pushes the guy on the tracks of the London Underground. Been in the country, I think, a month or two. What's he doing in the country? What are half these people doing in the country when they've only just got here and we cannot keep ourselves safe because we've got foreign criminals coming in? We've got to deal with our own criminals and punish them. And what's the Labour government's response to this? We're going to let a load more criminals out to jail because we need the spaces. And the prison problem isn't really the Labour problem, it's a Tory problem. In power for 14 years, haven't built any new prisons. So now we're locking people up and giving them shorter sentences, which does less and less for them as a deterrent. It becomes a revolving door. We put him in for a couple of months, come out again, nothing's changed. And we've known this for decades, but the Tories didn't want to spend any money. And the Tories are woke and pink and fluffy and didn't want to lock anybody up anyway. Hence why we're in this situation. Prison works. It may be expensive. It may not work as in rehabilitation, which doesn't work in 99% of countries across the world. But it takes people off the streets so they can't commit crime while they're in jail. And the general public feel like they're being punished. And if they think they're being punished, they're less likely then to want to be vigilante themselves and take the law into their own hands. But that's what we've got today, isn't it? We've got people taking the law in their own hands because we do not respect and trust and think it's fit for purpose the whole of our criminal justice system. And it's dangerous times ahead. Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers, I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.